Hello and welcome to a van build vlog that is not so much a build vlog as a costs vlog, because there's nothing people like quite so much as knowing what other people have spent on stuff. It's been a while since I've done a vlog. I've been out cruising on my narrowboat. If you're interested in seeing what I've been up to, it's all documented over on my other channel, Cruising the Cut, and I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. I've got a few van vlogs coming up. There's this one, there's some little DIY mods and updates I want to do, and also, excitingly, in about a week's time, I will be going away in the van. Yes, finally, an actual road trip in the van, including an overnight stay, and I'll take the video camera along, make a vlog out of it. I don't know quite when I'll be able to get that online, but I will film it next weekend and hopefully sometime soon after that. However, this vlog is all about the costs. You can't see it, I noticed, but on my lap I have my laptop, and while I was doing the van build I kept a very detailed spreadsheet of everything divided into different categories. For example, the purchase costs of the van and any ancillaries to do with just buying it. Then there was a column for all the tools I bought. Then consumables, things like glue and spray adhesive. What else came under consumables? Degreasant, marker pens, things like that. Conversion bits, which is the bits I needed to stop it being a panel van and turn it into an actual camper van, by which I mean the Celotex insulation, the noise dampening panels. What else came under conversion bits? The reflective foil stuff that I used as a vapor barrier, the fan in the roof, the fluffy insulation stuff, things like that. I'll come to them as I go through it. Then there are all the internal bits, can't speak, which is the sink and hob unit, the electrical bits, the charger, the inverter, the solar charger, the fridge freezer, the cushions, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, settle down, cup of tea handy, and let's go through it. Let's start with the purchase of the van itself. It cost me £8,160. I did extensive research on Auto Trader, and that is a good price. This is a 2013 2-litre, not the cheaper 1.6, the 2-litre Toyota Proace with only 30,000 miles on the clock. It's now a year older than that, obviously, so if you were looking for the equivalent, it would be a 2014 model, and that price seems to be quite a good one. So £8,160. I spent 15 quid on an HPI check, which, for the benefit of my overseas viewers, that's a sort of history check to make sure that the van hasn't been recorded as written off, crashed, insurance claims made on it, that kind of thing. Cost me a new tax on the van, 240 quid. That's for 12 months. It's now, I noticed, gone up to 250 quid. And I did put 2 new rear tyres on it as soon as I bought it for £145. Weirdly, I had quite a few comments on the videos where I was doing the gas filler thing. People saying, oh, that rear tyre looks bald. It can't be bald. It's brand new. It's had less than 500 miles put on it, I assure you. So it just must be some weird effect of the camera making it look bald, but it's absolutely brand new. Altogether then, including a few other incidentals, cost simply of buying and bringing the van back and putting the tyres on it was, scrolling down to the bottom, £8,897.63. Obviously, I could have bought a cheaper van. I could have gone out and bought something for £1,000 and converted that. But I really did want to buy the most recent van I could get so that it would still have lots of life left in it, and hopefully as little rust as I could possibly get away with. I'm going to point out, actually, just scrolling back up to the top of the spreadsheet, that throughout the van build, quite clearly, I could have spent less. This was never intended, though, to be a budget van build. I didn't have unlimited funds by any stretch of the imagination, but I wasn't trying to do it on the cheap. So I'm quite certain there will be people watching this going, oh my goodness, you needn't have spent that, young man. You could have got an inverter for 10 quid from China off eBay. And yes, I'm quite sure I could, but I didn't want to. I wanted to buy the stuff I bought. I wanted the nice fridge. I wanted the nice Victron gear. So, of course, I could have done it all cheaper, but I chose to buy the bits I did, and I think I actually got most of the bits at a fairly good price for what they are. Anyway, tools. I'm not going to go into the tools category because, firstly, I rather lashed out and let myself buy some quite expensive, nice tools, mostly DeWalt gear, on the basis that it will last me for years. I can use it in many other projects. I can use it on the boat. So that's kind of irrelevant because your tool cost may well be entirely different. You either can buy cheap stuff and chuck it away after building a van, or you may have tools anyway. So let's skip the tools category. I don't think that's relevant. Consumables, though, includes things like £6.99 on some degreaser, £17.89 on some cans of the Trim Fix spray adhesive that stuck the carpet on. I've got £2 on some Window Lean window cleaner, marker pens at £2.39, some super sticky glue. That's how I've noted it down. I don't know what that means. I imagine it's one of those cans, cartons that you put in the squeezy gun thing. Super sticky glue, £19.26 from B&Q. 2 cans of Insta-Stick spray foam adhesive. That's what I was using round all the Celotex insulation and to stick the Celotex insulation to the walls. It's not cheap. 2 tins of that, £26, but it's good stuff. Spray foam cleaner to clean out the spray gun after I'd used it, £4.50. The mastic sealing strip that went round the hole in the roof where I put the fan, that was £8.50. Gaffer tape, £4 plus. A quid for cable ties, £5.60 for some sealant. Little tiny silly little thing of touch-up paint of the right colour for the van. 10 quid that cost me. Those garages really do make a fortune, I think, out of little consumables like that, but I wanted it to be the right colour for the van, obviously. £13 on some more Trim Fix spray adhesive. Let me tell you this, if you're planning a van build, you will go through so many tins of spray adhesive. It's just ridiculous. I probably went through about 8 cans of this stuff, so you probably need more than you think you would. £3.26 on masking tape, another thing of Insta-Stick for 13 quid. Sealing paint and primer. Paint is remarkably expensive stuff. 30 quid I spent on that. That was just a tin of primer and a tin of the actual whatever colour this is. £9 on wood glue, £9 on some screws, £5.50 on adhesive cleaner, which I think was the stuff I used to try and get all the Trim Fix overspray off the carpet. £18 on window adhesive. Most of the windows I bought came with a kit to fit the windows, but I also needed to buy one additional thing of window adhesive for reasons that escape me. Anyway, that was £18. Not cheap, but it's really sticky stuff, as you'd hope, since it's holding the windows in. £3 on a paintbrush, £2 on some cable ties, £2.50 on some more screws. What's that? Oh, more screws, £5. More screws, £7. It's amazing how this stuff adds up. It really is. You'll be horrified when I come to the total in a minute. 16 quid on a tin of varnish that I used for doing all the woodwork bits. 2 quid on some white spirit. 6 quid on some more sealant, unspecified sealant, but I mean, there's a lot of general gunging and sealing you end up doing on a van build. £7 on some masking tape. 10 quid for the chemical metal stuff that I used from plastic padding when I was trying to mould a fitting for the refillable gas pipe thing on the side corner of the van. That cost me 10 quid. £4 on some white spirit, £4 on some Stanley knife blades, 9 quid on some wood stain, which again is the stuff that I used to make the plywood all look this dark colour in the van. And nearly at the end of consumables, and 9 quid on some more wood stain, had to go and buy another tin of that, and £12.50 on yet more, you guessed it, spray adhesive. So the grand total on consumable stuff, which is mostly glues and sealants, £307.27. I told you it adds up. It's extraordinary. I mean, the overall van build cost, that's just a drop in the ocean, but as a bunch of glues and sealants, it does seem like an awful lot of money. £307.27. Let's skip to conversion bits. Things are needed to buy to actually stop the van being a van and make it have the general beginnings of being a camper van. Noise reduction panels, £30. Those are the silvery panels that I stuck all over the ceiling and the sides of the van to stop it being boomy as you drive along. That was 30 quid. The side windows, 2 windows for the sliding doors, got these from Van Diemen, £231. Then the rear windows, the 2 at the back from Leisure Vehicle Windows in Corby, £145. £5 on some extra window trim, £3.70 on some sticky foil aluminium. That's the roll of aluminium tape that went all between the Celotex insulation panels. £100 on the Fiamma Turbo 28. That's the electric fan that I've got in the roof here, and it wasn't just a vent. It is a vent. It is the one with the electric fan in it. So that was £100. 18 quid on a roll of fluffy insulation from B&Q. That's the insulation that I tore up and stuffed in all the bits where I couldn't put Celotex. 15 quid on yet more noise reduction panels because I hadn't quite bought enough the first time round. £77 on sheets of Celotex insulation. That's the stiff, very good quality. It really is a good insulator, but the stiff board insulation that I had to cut out to put in the sides and in the roof. Some miscellaneous electric bits, the fan speed controller, 2 quid, a voltmeter that I didn't in fact end up using. Well, I put it in and then I took it out, 6 quid. 12 quid on the 10-way fuse holder, 6 quid on a battery isolator, another 18 quid on insulation, the fluffy insulation, 10 quid on another Celotex sheet, that was the 50mm Celotex, another roll of plastic fluffy insulation, just stuffing it. I initially thought, when I started this out, I thought one roll, how long are these rolls? They're something like 18 metres long or 10 metres long, and I thought, whoa, that'll be plenty. Ended up buying about 3 or 4 rolls because as you're stuffing it in, even though you shouldn't overstuff, and I really didn't, and people kept warning me against it, I swear I didn't overstuff, but it's like stuffing insulation into a black hole. It just keeps going. And I went through, I think, about 4 rolls of this stuff. It was extraordinary in a tiny van. 4 quid on a wooden batten that went round the ceiling fan. £46 on a 30-metre reel of cabling that did all the wiring for all the different gadgets, and I did use pretty much the whole 30 metres. 33 quid on Veltrim carpet. That's this carpet stuff. I didn't like it. It wasn't nearly stretchy enough. I know people told me afterwards I should have used a hairdryer on it to heat it up, but I've seen the other type of carpet that other van builders use that is thinner, admittedly, more see-through, but by heck it really does stretch a lot better than this stuff did. I'm not a fan. £52 on these ceiling LED lights. They're 12 quid each or thereabouts. Does that work? Yeah, just over 12 quid. 10 quid on an inline RCD, which I didn't use. That was a residual current device for the shoreline connector. I haven't actually used that because I've got the RCD in the main electrics cabinet. 7 quid on screws and grommets, 9 quid on the little hookup socket for the shoreline that is stuck underneath the van, £74 on 12 and 4mm plywood and a batten, 50 quid on some more ply, 2 quid on another batten, 8 quid on some screws, 2 quid on a batten. It just goes on and on. You're going to be really horrified by how much this lot all cost. What have we got here? Another £44 on wood for interior fittings, just miscellaneous bits of wood. 33 quid on some more Veltrim because I hadn't ordered enough. 14 quid on trunking. That's the white plastic stuff that all the wiring goes in as it goes around the van, keeps it safe. The lino on the floor cost 50 quid. The tambour door that goes on the sink unit underneath the hob and sink, they are frighteningly expensive, given that they're just a little plasticky thing that runs in some runners and coils up. £63 that cost. 40 quid on the wood for the bed slats, 15 quid on yet more timber, random timber, 6 quid on more cladding. That must have just been a couple of odd bits because that's not very much cladding at all. 23 quid on the paint that I used on the woodwork here on the bed and on the sink unit. Some angle brackets, some hinges, some magnetic catches. Oh my, I bought so many magnetic catches, it's just ridiculous. Everything in this van is held on with magnetic catches. So £3 there, £65 on some more plywood, some more magnetic catches, some more magnetic catches, some screws, wood battens. The insulation wrap that I put round the Proace heater exhaust, that was £13, and I'm going to come back to that in one of my future upgrade vlogs, because having tested the heater, although that insulation does do a very good job, you can put your hand on it while the heater is running, it's still very, very hot, and I'm not entirely comfortable with how hot it is, given that the exhaust does run a little way through the van before it drops through the floor. So I've bought some more insulation that is going to wrap around the existing insulation. As I say, that's for a future vlog. More door magnets, more magnetic catches, £12 on some more plywood, £9 on some more plywood. Gas connectors. I'm not sure what gas connectors is. What the heck were gas connectors? Anyway, they were £20. Some cladding, some more magnetic catches. £45 for gas heater elbow joints, the little silicon, high temperature silicon U-shape, not U-shape, 90-degree elbow joints that went on the bottom of the heater, and then an extra long exhaust pipe because the first one I bought wasn't long enough. £45. £7 for more drop vents so that any escaped LPG can drop out the bottom of the van. Some pipe clips, £25 on fuses and bus bars for the electrical system. The solar panels, 200-watt solar panels, the wiring that goes with them, and also the LPG alarm that is fitted underneath where the heater unit is. That was all £279. A cable gland, £10.50 to bring the wires in from the roof from the solar panel. More miscellaneous bits. What we got here? £24 on battery cable, fuse and connectors. £20 on more electrical cables. Someone stopped right outside where I'm parked with a very noisy diesel. You can probably hear that. Sorry. £17 on roof rack bolts. £12 on another cable gland. I think the first one I bought for the solar, I just didn't like it, or it didn't work properly or something, and so I bought another one for £12. £17 for some more bolts for the solar panels. £11 on a little USB, you know, the little dual USB unit I've got on the electrical box that means I can charge up my phone. £12 on more plywood, £6 on aluminium edging that goes on the doorway as you come into the van. More plywood, £12, blah blah blah, miscellaneous bits all together. And remember, that doesn't include the heater, the fridge, the actual electrical components, all the expensive stuff. Just the bits to kind of convert the van from a shell of a van into something waiting to be fitted out. £2,145.40. Yeah, I know. Ouch. Finally, then, the internal bits. The portable toilet, the Dometic portable toilet, £80. Sounds like a lot, but actually that was a very good price for that toilet. I wanted that specific model because it fitted kind of with the van, and it has quite a decent capacity. I think it's something like 20 litres. A lot of the other portable ones are so tiny, they've only got a 10-litre capacity. £80, including delivery, was actually a good price for that, believe it or not. £7 on a charger unit. Now here's the more interesting stuff. The Proace HS2000 propane heater unit with its fitting kit, £443. Again, sounds like a lot, but actually that wasn't bad. I saw other people selling it for a lot more. I was pretty pleased with £443. The SMEV 9222 sink and hob unit was £304, which just seemed to be about par for the course. £20 on a fire extinguisher, gotta have it. £156 for the Victron mains charger, £87 for the Victron inverter, and £125 for the Victron solar controller. Those are pretty good prices on that gear. Victron stuff is not cheap. I bought them all from Onboard Energy, which is a little chandlery at Springwood Haven Marina, and at the time they were running a little discount code from Journey with John over about 10%. I don't think it's running anymore, unfortunately. So those were good prices on those bits of gear. The Gaslow 6 kilogram refillable gas cylinder, including the gas locker and the filler pipes, £489, which I know sounds like a hell of a lot for a gas cylinder, but I mean, I could have not put a refillable thing in. I could have just put a normal Cala cylinder in that you swap out when you need it refilling. But just in case I ever go abroad, they don't do Cala abroad apparently, so a refillable seemed to be a better long-term solution. So it's a hell of a bite of money up front, but it's very cheap to refill, and it should mean I can go anywhere in Europe. Or should I come to sell the van, whoever buys it can go anywhere in Europe and refill quite happily. So sort of worth the money, I think, on reflection. 35 quid on a couple of water tanks, 45 quid on another water tank plus the kit for the table. You've got to have a table in your van to convince the DVLA that it is a camper van. It's just one of their random requirements that proves it's a camper van, is you have to have a table. And weirdly, the table itself doesn't have to be fixed. I'm actually holding the laptop on my table here, which is detachable, but the mounting point for the table has to be fixed. It's just, that's the rules. So 45 quid for that and a water tank. £10 on a couple of mains sockets, £22 on the RCD consumer unit, which is actually an RCD and 2 MCBs. That's in the electronics cupboard. The fridge, which is a Waco CDF26, £375, which is again a hell of a lot of money. But all these 12-volt compressor fridges that are actually compressor fridges, not just coolers but proper ones with a compressor in them, they are just staggeringly expensive. And believe it or not, £375 is a good price for one of those. I think it's now a discontinued model, and that is why I found a couple of places selling it. I got that from Conrad, which I think is a German company, but they sell in the UK as well. And occasionally Amazon had it at £375, although Amazon, as you know, the prices vary day to day. But incredibly, £375 is a good price for a fridge. The leisure battery, an AGM 160 amp hour, so it's quite sizable, £210. That's kind of what they cost. The cushions, all custom made to my exact dimensions, £265. However, I did manage to mess up the dimensions on one of them, so I had to get a new cover and some extra bits to pad out the one they'd sent me, and I think that later cost me another, £27. 28 quid on fire and smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, some cutlery, a dish drainer set, some plates that, you know, you'll buy your own choice of those. I bought a little portable gas stove with some gas canisters for if I want to cook outside. That was 16 quid, big deal. And finally, what's this? Cushions. Oh yes, the cushions. Bought from a charity shop, 4 of those, total price £14. So all in all, wait for it, hope you're sitting down for this, internal fit out bits, £2,803.30. And one more column of miscellaneous, which includes things like the gas safety check I had done by a motorhome dealer, and oh yeah, just miscellaneous knickknacks and stuff. That was another £138. So wait for it, the full cost of buying the van, buying all the bits, fitting it out, not including my many hours of time, which if you add it on, I mean, I can really see, having built this thing, why camper vans cost so much money. But the grand total, £14,291.99. Ouch. But I'm still pretty pleased with it on reflection. Yes, there are some things that I might like to do differently. There are some things I might do better, but it was my first attempt. I am ham-fisted and a total numpty at this kind of thing, as I've said several times before. So I'm still all in all, pretty pleased. The solar panels and the electrics are all working fine. The roof vent isn't leaking, the windows aren't leaking, and they've stayed on. That's always good. So, taking everything into account, I am pretty pleased. But yeah, just over 14 grand. Of course, if you went out and bought a second-hand camper and you had a budget of £14,000, it truly doesn't buy you a lot. I spent ages looking through Auto Trader and all the various websites, eBay and things, and you really don't get much for 14 grand. You get old vans that are 15 years old with stratospheric mileages on them. Well, this is 4 years old, 30,000 miles. It's practically brand new, and it's a fully functioning camper with gas and electrics and fridge and everything I could need, apart from the pop top. Pop top I'd have liked, but it was going to cost 4 grand, and I simply didn't have the cash. All right, I'm going to stop waffling now. I hope that was useful. I'm sure you may have comments, questions, whatever. Drop them down below, but as I said at the start, if you're going to point out that I could have done it a lot cheaper by buying stuff, from eBay for 10 quid, obviously I could have done. I didn't want to do that. Hope this was useful. There'll be some more van vlogs coming soon. Thank you as always for watching, and cheerio.